So here's a video about using Romcombiner. So I think one of the difficulties with the z88 is when you download some files that you want to use, applications that you want to use, and you see that you've got a .56 file, a .62 file, a .60 file. What does all this mean, and how do you actually run that on your z88? I don't think it's very obvious, so I'm trying to make a little video that shows you how to do something with those files. And we're staying old school, so we're assuming that you don't have, you're doing this with Oz 3.2 or something like this, or Oz 3, and we're using a piece of software that Gary Lancaster made almost over 20 years ago, and that's called Romcombiner. So what I'm doing here is I'm assuming that I've got a 1 meg flash card in slot 3, and I've just run Romcombiner, which is already in my RAM, and I'm just checking that it's ready to erase and ready to that it's all erased and ready to use, basically. So yep, of course that's good, because we're just doing this in emulation. But we could do exactly the same things as I'm doing now on a real z88, and you'd get the same thing. So what you'll have at the end is the 1 meg card, and when you put that into your z88, it will automatically load some applications. So I just picked two random applications, two random utilities that I had lying around for this demonstration. So one is Z-Tape. So we've gone into Romcombiner and we're using this add option. So it's asking what the card name is, and if you remember when we looked at the filer before, we had, I don't know, something like Z-Tape 11.53 or something like that, or 63. So we've added that in, and then I thought it'd be good to do a big file as well. So Spellmaster, which you can get, is 128K EEPROM, and we're gonna blow that onto this card that we're making. So you need a destination card name. So I meant to call it utils or something like that, but for some reason I've just spelt that completely wrong. But you can call that whatever you want. It doesn't really matter, because you're never going to see that once you finish this process. But now, so what Romcombiner is doing now is combining those two sets of binaries into something that can be put onto the card. And it's quite a sort of a slow process as it's going through. But what it's essentially doing is combining the spell checker ROM, which is 128K, and the Z-Tape ROM, which I think is 32K, and it's combining those together into a new set of files, which are I've called them utils or something. I've called them completely the wrong thing, haven't I? I've just completely spelt that wrong. But it's modifying those images. And it's just about finished now, so just waiting for that last one, which is the big file word finder. And there we go, so we've finished. And then the next thing to do is literally to blow those images onto the 1 meg flash card that I've got in the in slot 3. So to do that, we go to blow. We're going to select slot 3 because that's what we've got. Then it's asking for the name of the card we've just created. I've forgotten that I've spelt it wrong and named it the wrong thing there, so this isn't going to work. So it doesn't find it, but we know why that is. So I've just gone into Filer and noticed for the first time that I've just spelt everything wrong, basically. So that go back in here. But it doesn't matter because you're never really going to see this after we do this this flashing. So we go back to B. So type B for blow image. Select flash because that's what we've got. Ask slot number 3, and card name, so I need to remember my bad spelling and put that back in. So I've done that, and we're doing a full ROM, and then it's blowing that. So now in effect it's creating an application card on that 1 meg card, and it won't use the whole space. So it'll use 128K for the Spellmaster, and it'll use 32K for the Z-tape. So you'll still be able to use the rest of the space for files. So you'll be able to create a file area, and use that to store your Pipe Dream documents or whatever you're doing, or different types of apps. You can store all that onto the into the file area as well. But what it means is that when you put this card into your Z88, it will automatically load those applications into the index, and you'll be able to select them from the menu. You don't have to install them, you don't have to do anything else. So that's finished now. And you should really do a reset or remove the card. It advises you to do that, but obviously I'm in emulation, so I'm not going to mess about doing that for this purpose. But because I haven't reset it, it hasn't give you the key index. So I'm just going to do a soft reset now. And when it loads back up, you have the files. There you go. So every time you put that card into your Z88, those 3 new files, Quick Edit, Word Finder and Z-tape, will load up, and there's Z-tape as well. So that's it really. So I just wanted to make a video that just showed you how to use Romcombiner, because I think it's a really good piece of software.